Welcome to APUSH topic 1.2. This is AP Helper with North American societies before European contact. The original discovery of the Americas is estimated to be 40,000 years ago. A land bridge that is now submerged connecting Serbia and Alaska is believed to have gave passage to Asian migrants. Scandinavian Vikings are believed to have reached the Americas before Columbus did. So he did not originally discover the Americas. And as you can see, this being Asia, and this being the New World, North America, this right here was the land bridge that connected the two. The three great civilizations were the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incas. The Mayans were in the year 300 to 800, based in the Yucatan Peninsula. They built remarkable cities and they grew maize, corn. That was their main crop. The Aztecs were after the decline of the Mayans, and they were based in central Mexico. They had a population of 200,000 in their capital, Tenochtitlan. The Incas, 1438 to 1533, were based in Peru, South America. They developed a vast empire and cultivated potatoes. That's a very important aspect, that they cultivated potatoes. All three of these civilizations were highly developed and organized. They traded, used scientific calendars that were accurate, and grew crops. Now we have the North American societies. This is very information heavy, so stay with me. Aspects of North American societies. They included fewer people due to the slow migration of corn to North America. So you'll notice with the rest of this topic that corn provided nutrition to the Native Americans. In turn, that boosted their population and their health and their overall economic wealth. Natives lived in semi-permanent settlement groups of around 300 people. Okay, this is a social aspect, a part of the spice chart, social. Men made tools and hunted, while women gathered plants and nuts or grew corn. Note that gender aspects of women are much different from what we see in the Old World. Women sometimes even held positions of authority in North American tribes. They had over 400 distinct languages and 20 language families, while Europe only had one language family. Population was estimated to be around 50 million to 100 million people. This is our first settlement, Southwest settlements. They were based in New Mexico and Arizona, so this area right here, and their tribes were the Hohokam, Anasazi, and Pueblos. Many lived in caves, underneath cliffs, and in multi-storied buildings, which I have pictures of in the next slide. The spread of corn, because of their close relation to South America, spread of corn gave them economic wealth, irrigation systems, and variation between social and economic classes. So as I said before, the spread of corn gave way to this economic wealth. When Europeans arrived, drought had already took a toll on these people. So, unlike the tropics, where there was a lot of rain with rich soil, the Southwest had good soil but not as much rain, and that is why they needed irrigation systems, which ultimately didn't work out for them in the end due to their drought. These are the cliff dwellings right here, and these are the multi-storied buildings. You might have seen pictures like this before. Super cool, super interesting. Our next settlement is the Northwest. They were based in the Pacific coast, Alaska to California. People lived in plank houses. They had a rich diet from hunting, fishing, because they were next to the ocean, nuts, berries, and roots. Mountain ranges around this area isolated these tribes, and because of that, they didn't have a migration of corn, and they were also isolated from other tribes, so they were kind of kept to themselves in that sense. The main tribe of this is the Tlingit, not the Tlingit, it's the Tlingit. And here's some other ones that you can note down. They carved stories and other information into totems. Here's some totems right here. Here's a Northwest tribe. Our next one is the Great Basin and Great Plains. They adapted to their dry climate by creating mobile ways of living, meaning that they were nomadic, usually. Nomadic tribes survived by hunting and following the food. Usually buffalo is what they usually hunted and followed, were used for food, decorations, clothes, and tools. They had many uses for buffalo. Some lived in teepees, which I have pictures of, and more permanent settlements farmed. Horses, the acquisition of horses allowed tribes to follow their food better, and a main tribe of this was the Lakota Sioux. Apaches gradually migrated south from Canada, this area, to Texas down here. Main tribes are the Lakota Sioux and the Apache. And the other ones you can write down as well. Okay, so here were the teepees along with a large group of Native Americans. And here are probably the Lakota Sioux hunting buffalo. Next one is the Mississippi River Valley. This was the woodland American natives, and they prospered from food supply, agriculture, hunting, and fishing. They were along here. Usually the Adena Hopewell were up here. The Chickasaw, the Choctaw, Sioux, Sac, and Fox were down here. They established permanent settlements, and the Adena Hopewell and from Ohio are famous for their earth mounds. These are the earth mounds right here. Not all of them had bodies within them or artifacts which have been dug up and sold. Northeast settlements. Some descendants of Adena Hopewell from up here moved to New York, more east from Ohio. They specialized in hunting and farming exhausted the land, so they had to relocate frequently. Multiple families upon a mother's lineage, so they were all related in some sense, lived in longhouses that were up to 200 feet long. The main tribes were the Mohawk, Iroquois, and the Hurons. So this is what the longhouses look like usually, and this is a tribe. The Iroquois Confederation, which is the name that was given to them by Europeans, but that was not their actual real name. The real name is pronounced Haudenosaunee, and the six nations are the Seneca, Cayuga, Onondaga, Oneida, Mohawk, and Tuscarora. These tribes formed an alliance with one another and eventually fought the Europeans during the American Revolution. Daganoweda was a Huron prophet who had a vision of bringing peace to the world. He couldn't relay his message because he had a speech defect until he met Hiawatha. He then told his message to the Indian nations. The tribes quit their fighting and threw their hatchets into a hole where they planted a pine tree of peace. And this is a quote from Daganoweda. I, Daganoweda, and the Union lords now uproot the tallest pine tree, and into the cavity thereby made we cast all weapons of war, into the depths of the earth, down into the deep underneath currents of water, flowing to the unknown regions. We cast all the weapons of strife. We bury them from sight, and we plant again the tree. Thus shall the great peace be established. So this is the great peace tree that they planted. And this is the Iroquois Confederacy, where they were located. Next, we have the Atlantic Seaboard Settlement. This is the last settlement of this topic. Based in New Jersey and Florida, that'll be down here, southeast. Coastal plains like the Cherokee and the Lumbee were descendants of woodland mound builders. They built timber and bark lodgings around rivers, and their location provided them with ocean-rich food. Main tribes were the Micmac and the Pequot. This slide is a very summed down aspects of each North American settlement to help your memorization. So, southwest, corn, caves, under cliffs, near Mexico and Arizona. Northwest, Alaska to California, rich diet, isolated, Tlingit. Great Basin in the Great Plains, middle of North America, nomadic, buffalo, teepees, horses. Mississippi River Valley, permanent settlements, Adena Hopewell, mounds. Northeast, relocated frequently, longhouses, Mohawk. Atlantic Seaboard, Florida, ocean-rich food, Micmac, Pequot. Here are 35 different questions of topic 1.2 that you can access through the Google Doc in the description below. I'm not going to read over each question, but here they are for your personal use. Along with those questions, there are also 3 short answer questions, SAQs, that go along with topic 1.2. You can send me your answers to these through my email, ap.helper.264@gmail.com, which is in the description, or you can comment them and I can grade them for you and help you if you need it. In this video, we learned about Native American societies before European contact and how their location and environment play a large part in their society and culture. In the next topic, we'll learn about European exploration in the Americas. If you like this content, please subscribe. This has been AP Helper with APUSH Topic 1.2. Thanks for watching.